Hello and welcome to the channel. Be sure to share, like, and comment down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for daily videos on news and politics. As the media distracts us with Oprah, outrageous law regarding FISA's secret courts passed overnight. Says the liberal media often distracts the population from critical issues with other topics that are more entertaining to make sure people don't begin to ask questions. For instance, the last couple of weeks, the world reacted to Oprah's Golden Globe speech that sparked talks of a presidential bid in 2020, and of course social media platforms exploded with people calling for Oprah to be the next president, including many celebrities in Hollywood. Across the country, reactions were mixed, and while many people cheered Oprah on claiming her speech was heroic, there were more than enough of those who laughed at the idea of a Winfrey presidency. However, what was not spoken about was while we were all debating if Winfrey could beat President Trump in 2020 was what the government did behind closed doors, and as usual, the media is silent. Trump has done all he can do to set America on a brighter path, but if a recent tweet by Snowden is true, there could be some major explaining to do. Following Oprah's speech at the Golden Globes, the United States government has ramped up its campaign to allow the FBI to illegally spy on Americans without a warrant. Now, Snowden tweeted that Trump and Speaker Ryan were seeking to protect the privacy of criminals under the investigation, but not innocent Americans. According to the Free Thought Project, Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, has served as the foundation for the NSA's largest and most egregious surveillance programs for the last decade. It was set to expire on December 31st, but because it was last authorized by the court on April 26, 2017 for a 12-month period, lawmakers are hopeful that they can find a way to reauthorize Section 702 before it actually expires on April 26, 2018. The first attempt to reauthorize Section 702 was through the introduction of the USA Liberty Act. As the Free Thought Project has reported, Congress claimed the bill would be better protect Americans' privacy by requiring the government to have a legitimate national security purpose before searching an individual's database. However, what the bill did not advertise was the fact that it did not actually address the legitimate problems that exist with Section 702. The FBI's legitimate national security purpose could be justified by just about any reason the agency chooses to give, and agents would only need supervisory authority in order to search America's metadata. Now, it also goes on to say that while many privacy experts were hopeful that if the USA Liberty Act did not pass, Section 702 would expire on December 31st, making it illegal for the government to collect data from innocent Americans without warrants. Intelligence officials warned that that would not be the case. A spokesman for the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, Brian Hale, told the New York Times that the government believes it can keep the program going for months even if it is not reauthorized. That is exactly what is happening right now. Instead of continuing to push for passage of the U.S. Liberty Act, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence has introduced the FISA Amendments Reauthorization Act of 2017 with the intent to renew Section 702 for 6 years. Now, Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act authorizes the Intelligence Committee to target the communications of non-U.S. persons located outside the United States for foreign intelligence purposes. A key anti-terror tool that has helped to thwart enormous terror plots, including the 2009 conspiracy to bomb the New York City subway. Section 702 operations are subject to multiple layers of oversight by all three branches of the government. However, The Intercept reported that the government is actually following a pattern of legalizing practices that have already been carrying out, which has been ongoing for years. Section 702 was first passed in 2008 after George W. Bush administration's warrantless wiretapping program was made public, effectively to legalize what the administration was doing. Now the government is doing the same thing, but instead it is seeking to legalize a loophole that lets the FBI spy on innocent Americans without a warrant. As the report noted, the current version of Section 702 does not limit how data can be used by federal law enforcement and lets the NSA freely share information with the FBI, while the new bill requires the FBI to get a warrant before searching the data in relation to a criminal investigation. There are some major expectations. The FBI doesn't have to apply major exceptions. Now it also goes on to say the FBI doesn't have to apply for a warrant when national security is involved or when it is determined that there is a threat to life or serious bodily harm. And the bill would continue to allow the FBI to sift through the data even when those searches don't involve a specific criminal investigation, which the FBI already does so often that they have compared it to searching Google. Now, Republican Justin Amish is an advocate for the Fourth Amendment and critic of both the USA Liberty Act and the FISA Amendments Reauthorization Act. He has also worked with a bipartisan coalition to introduce a bill that counters the current legislation, the USA Rights Act. Now it says, with the expiration of hashtag FISA 702, Congress has the opportunity to reverse the government's illegal erosion of our hashtag Fourth Amendment secured right to be free from warrantless searches and seizures. Amash wrote on Twitter, there's only one bill circulating in the House that does that, and it is hashtag USA Rights Act. The USA Rights Act strictly limits the way intelligence officials obtain metadata from Americans. As the Washington Examiner reported, the bill is sponsored in the Senate by Senator Ron Wyden, and it seeks to end backdoor warrantless searches of the vast data collected under the FISA law and would strengthen the oversight of the FISA courts and allows outside challenges to constitutionally of the FISA authorization. Now it says, regardless of political affiliation, this should leave all Americans outraged. While President Trump is doing amazing things in our country, it is always important for citizens to hold these powers in check. Let's be honest, folks, there is no reason for the FBI to be able to wield this type of power without the consent of the people. Now it says the Fourth Amendment clearly protects the American people from unlawful searches and seizures, which include searching our private data. It says if the government has any questions, all they need to do is get a warrant in an open court and not in a FISA court that is behind closed doors. Fortunately, we do have good people fighting for us, like Justin Amish, who continues to fight to protect our God-given rights. It's important to get the word out to everyone about this. We will be affected by this massive government overreach whether we are Republican or Democrat. This is against our constitutional rights, and we all deserve those to be protected.